Hey guys, it's me, uh, vegan guy here. We're going to make some Brazil nut milk, but the purpose of making Brazil nut milk today is to make vegan cheese. Now I've come up with an idea. It might have a different flavor than a normal type vegan cheese. So I'm hoping to wing this, and maybe it might taste good. I don't know. But we're going to give it a try, and then we're going to give it a taste test afterwards. I hope this ain't all in vain, and it turns to, crap. Okay. Well, we're going to start out with half a cup of Brazil nuts I bought from the store. And I'll show you some other ingredients here. I've got coconut milk yogurt, plain. It don't have nothing in it. Don't have no vanilla or nothing in it. So we're going to go with that. And I've got garlic stuffed olives, but I don't want to use the garlic. I want to use a few of the green olive. Maybe not too much, because I don't want to overpower this, because I tried it one time in something, and I think I used a half, maybe, and it overpowered it, the flavor. So I'm going maybe to take one out, cut it into maybe a third or less, and rinse it off real good before I add it in with the milk here. And I'm undecided right now whether to strain this pretty good, the Brazil nuts, after I make the milk or not. So we're going to go with 2 cups of water in the blender. Okay. Just to the side. And of course, we got our half a cup of Brazil nuts. Voila. Okay. Now, let's take a little tiny plate here and get a fork and nab one of these good old tasty green olives. Okay. Okay, we nab one. This was a very old jar. This been in brine of some kind. And it looks old. But what we're going to do, and I'm going to spit out this, cut this, excuse me. Let me show you what I'm doing here. It's kind of a bad situation here. Alright, you see the plate. Okay, I'm going to cut out this garlic. Okay, maybe use it for something else, or put it back in the jar of garlic stuffed olives. Okay, now, so I'm going to take a few, not much. I'm going to take this much right here. You see how I'm cutting this? Okay, so we're going to take this much, very small amount, and put it also in the blender. Okay, now I put this back in your olive jar for, for later use for something, use some more cheese or whatever. And anyway, and at any rate, we're going to do something. Okay. We'll go with now the coconut milk yogurt alternative. And we're going to put some of that in there for flavor. But I'm kind of undecided how much to use. It's okay. I mean, it lasts a long time, right? I'm going to go with about possibly, it's partly iced, by the way. I had it in the top of the top shelf of the refrigerator there in the bottom, and part of it's turned to ice. I'm going to go with about maybe You know, on this one, I don't want to, well, and I'll just go ahead and use a little tiny bit more. Tablespoon and a half. And get it all in the blender. Okay. Now, another something that makes cheese taste like cheese is salt. Okay. Now, and be generous because the cheese is salty. Give me a minute, I need to get one more thing here. And that's going to be nutritional yeast, which gives vegan cheese the flavor that it needs. Okay guys, well, thinking about adding just a little bit of dill in the cheese, because you know I like the taste of dill. Let's go with about three tablespoons of this, about like that. What's that? Not heaping, but rounded maybe. Okay, let's go with about 3 of those. And I'm sloppy, getting it all over everything today. Okay. Alright, let me take a sip of coffee because I still haven't woke up yet. And it's hot. Okay. Now we got all kind of good things in here, and we're going to cover this. I can't think of anything else. I might add, let me get into the picture here. Might add just a little bit of tiny bit of olive oil afterwards, and then anything else. But also, I'm thinking the best way to do this now is to go ahead and add it now instead of later, right? Before I stick it on the stove and begin to boil. Now this is kappa carrageenan. Now it's better than, like, I think, what is the other one? I can't think of the name. Hold on, I'll get you the name of the other one here. You turn to back. Okay. Well, I have a choice of 2, which is agar, or use kappa carrageenan. Now, the thing about kappa carrageenan, if I'm even pronouncing that right, is that with this one, the cheese will melt better than using the agar. Believe it or not, I've tried it, you know, and this works better. So I'm going to put maybe, if I can get in it, somehow or another I'm not in it right or something. Okay. They put a bag on top of a bag. Okay, so we're going to go with maybe a good, between heaping and rounded, maybe. I don't know what you would call that. You know, it's just one of those things, you know. Maybe semi-mountain. Okay, put that in the blender, and I hope that will turn it hard. Okay, alright, let me put this out the way. And we're going to give this a good, thorough ice crush. Get everything in there blended. And everything else. Now, I've got some oats sitting over here for another recipe. But you know, oats might go good in this cheese recipe. I hadn't thought about that, you know, and didn't strain everything. But possible, you know. A blend of Brazil nut and oat milk. But let's go with this right now. And maybe that would be the next recipe, you know. Just an idea. Oat milk cheese, possible, you know. Okay, let me go with this high-speed blender. And away we go. Blend up in my blender tech moisturizer 101. Okay, I think everything is finally turned to mush inside this blender here. So, we're going to give it just a little tiny bit of taste, just a few of it, to see if I got the right kind of salt, the right kind of cheesy flavor, whether I want to add any other type of thing like dill seed or dill weed, to give the cheese a flavor. Because, you don't want things to be bland flavoring. And you can even add liquid smoke if you wanted to. If you want a smoky cheese or smoky paprika and things to turn it yellow, maybe some things to turn it green or purple, Okay, well, let me try. That's certainly not bad. That's not a bad flavor. I'm going to go with that because if I put the dill weed in there, it might overpower it. But right now, this is a wonderful, beautiful flavor. Now I've got the option. Go with that and just leave the stuff in there and just give it all it'll do, all the stuff to do inside of this cheese right here, the pulp and all, it'll just give it more nutrition. Is that correct? Okay. Well, I think I'm going to leave it. I have left it before in other things, and it turned out all right. Now, the other thing that I might add a touch more salt and some olive oil, like I said maybe before. To give, some cheese has just a little tiny bit of oiliness. Not all cheese, some cheese. We'll get it all in here. Let me get that out of the way. Okay. I got a big bad space problem. Why don't we just put this back right here and put this in the dish drainer. Guys, this has got kind of, I don't know, it's kind of got like a nice color to it. So we're going to go over here, and I've got things put out for another recipe here. And that I might use. And you might could put a little onion powder in here. I don't think that would hurt, which I might do that. Might shake just a little bit of onion powder in it. Put it on boil. And let me get down good old onion powder. Okay, we got some good old onion powder here. Okay, how much to use in this? I can't use much onion on account of an ulcer. Duodenal ulcer, 2 of them I think. So I'm going to go kind of light. Not too bad. Maybe like a 1/4 teaspoon possibly going there. You'd probably get this more flavor. And like I said, I was going to go with some oil. And how much to use? If you use too much oil, your cheese might not harden good. So I ain't going to go just with 1 tablespoon, okay, of the olive oil and get it mixed in. Okay. Now give it a good stir and mix it all in good. Okay. And the thing here, get that out the way, and put the top on the the oil here. And get something, a spatula. Now this ain't the only thing we got to have here. Let me put this out the way. I've got a real big space problem here. No room to really work or do anything. So, that's the way it goes. Anyway, you got to have a container to put this in, so, and then let it cool until it turns hard and then turns into a gel-like cheese. And let me find a container. Just a regular plastic container with a lid to do. I have generally, this is old, anyway, I've sprayed the inside with oil. And if it's old, feels kind of rough or anything, it probably wouldn't hurt to spray the sides of it with oil. So that's what we're going to do, okay? And okay, we got that much. So now it's beginning to boil now, and I think as it boils, you put it, once you get it on a good boil, turn it back to simmer. Now the thing about carcinogen is you don't have to wait like you do with agar-agar. I think with agar-agar you need to like keep simmering like up to 9 or 10 minutes or so. Anyway, at any rate, we're going to do this. Bring it to a good boil, simmer just maybe a minute or two, and I'm hoping we're going to have a good flavorful cheese. Now you see right there on the spatula, it's beginning to turn now. See that? That one cooled off into a type of cheese. I think that's going to be a good cheese. I think I created something. Now I saw on the ingredients of some store-bought vegan cheese, which has a good flavor. Uh-oh, see, if you don't watch this thing, it'll boil up quick and over the whole thing. So let's get it off of there. Get it to simmer. And keep stirring. Stir it down a little bit. I don't know why it's acting like soy milk. Soy milk has that problem. It wants to boil and come out of the pot. I don't know why that reaction like that. But we're going to give this a little bit more time. I was thinking it would turn thicker as it boiled, but it ain't. So it has definitely got a delicious flavor. I think it's one of the better cheeses I've ever made before. And if it does right, after it cools down, after it solidifies, we'll taste it again and make sure that you got something, a sure winner here. Okay, I think that's enough for this. We can cut this off. And now this is what we got. It's not really thick. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pour it into the container. In the container. And as you know, this is what happens to the bottom when making vegan cheese. Always. Just go ahead and throw some water in that, let it soak a while, let it soften everything up. So this is what I come up with right here. Alright, I'm going to have to pause this until this turns hard. Okay, you see that? Now I got the cheese in front of a pan. If you got a setup with a pan like that, you can leave your vegan cheese right there in front of the pan and let it blow on it. And it'll probably cool it down and make cheese a little bit faster. Okay, I'm sorry for the darkness there, but maybe, let's see, okay. Yeah, maybe you can see better that way. Okay? Well, alright, we'll pause it for a little while and come back to it and see how our cheese turns out. Oh, I wanted to say something about the cheese here I'm making. Um, as you can see, I still got it under the fan, and it's beginning, the top of it is beginning to get kind of hard right here, you know, but the bottom hasn't started to get, it's still warm. Uh, it's going to be up to you if you want to add a little bit of olive oil. But here's the thing about Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are a very oily nut to begin with, and therefore you really don't have to add no extra oil at all, but I did, you know, as you've seen in the video. So we're going to give it a little while longer. Hopefully the fan will help cool it down a little bit, or I could stick it in the fridge. I'm just going to use the fan in this case and just give it a little while, okay? So we'll come back and we'll do a taste test to see what happens. Okay, it's taking a little bit more time than I had expected for it to get hard. But you see, it's beginning to get hard now. See that? But not all the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little bit of this and taste test it right now. See? That's this. That's good. That's real good. That's something completely different than regular, normal vegan cheese. And I'm going to put it up there right along with store-bought cheese. Like Cheyo. It tastes a lot like Cheyo, to tell you the truth, but with a little bit better flavor than Cheyo. Because Cheyo is kind of got a bland flavor, but this has got a good flavor. Guys, you got to try this vegan cheese recipe I came up with, invented, or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, just an idea, you know, to come up with, see if I can make something better than what it is, you know. Okay, maybe next time. I'm thinking about another recipe with Vita wheat gluten and oats and all that. Something like what I read on the back of the ingredients of a tofurkey recipe. So maybe that'll be next in line, or something else, or herbal tea or whatever, okay? All right, later.